On today, YouTubers, welcome to another edition of Walking Reviews. So today we're going to be taking a look at a new-ish knife from Boker. I've had this knife for a little while, just never got around to doing a review of it. So this is the Boker Turbine 2 Facebook edition, and I want to start off talking about the pocket clip. This really nice deep carry pocket clip, and the reason I want to start off talking about the pocket clip is because that is the last decent thing I'm gonna have to say about this garbage dumpster fire of a knife. This is maybe one of the worst executed knives I've ever seen in my life. It's almost like Boker had a return to form of like the early 2000s when they were just pumping out garbage, and that's really what this knife is. It's garbage. So basically the whole Facebook edition thing is there was a collaborative effort between Facebook followers of Boker to help put their input into a knife design, and this was kind of like one of the results of that Frankenstein of an effort. Just yeah, so let's go ahead and jump into this. Let's go ahead and jump into the specs. 3-inch blade of X-15 TN. The only thing I know about that steel is that it's a stainless steel. I don't know any of the other, I don't know how good the edge will hold. Don't know how rust resistant it is. Yeah, I've never heard of it really before. Spear point blade shape with a very prominent top swedge and a flat grind from about 50%. Decently sharp edge, not particularly thin, not particularly thick. I'd say around average. So as you can see, the opening methods here are thumb stud or flipper, neither of which work. The flipper is particularly bad. There's no real detent to speak of, so that's about as far as the flipper. Even if you preload it, that's about as far as you can get it to open. Thumb studs aren't much better. I can just get it to, and see, look at this lockup. That's a fully open knife. That's fully open, and the lockup is basically nothing. Yeah, I'd be super worried that that would slip off the edge, but that's the lockup. I'd say about maybe 1% lockup. The handles are 4 inches long, and they are blue, almost neon anodized blue titanium, with a red rosewood inlay. I don't think they executed the inlay particularly well, nor did they execute the anodization color very well. I'm not a big fan of neon blue with a red rosewood inlay. I think the color scheme is pretty awful, and I'm not usually one to worry about color schemes too much. But yeah, then the inlay is like 7 different kinds of ugly, as far as like where they had to have gaps for the screws to go and so forth. The centering, as you can see, is disastrously off to the show side. Doesn't quite rub, but it's just about there, and that is with a fully tightened pivot, which is fully decorative and does not come with a tool. So you will not be able to loosen or tighten the pivot without some kind of special aftermarket thing. It's a standoff construction, as you can see there. No stop pin. The thumb studs pretty much serve as your stop pin. The liner lock is kind of an inset into the titanium, sort of like a sub liner lock. And then there's the very well executed pocket clip. It carries well in the pocket. Not that I would ever suggest you put it there. It's easy in and out of the pocket, but again, I would hope that you wouldn't be putting it into anything other than maybe a garbage can if maybe someone gave you one. Weight is 3.1 ounces, so it'll be easy to throw in the garbage. Yeah, I mean, look, I respect that they wanted to make a design collaboration with fans of the brand, but if you're gonna do that, execute the fucking thing. If this was executed perfectly, it would make up for a lot of the design flaws, in my opinion. But without wrist action, this knife really doesn't open. Not particularly comfortable in the hand. The thumb ramp is a bit premature. I do like the flipper tab isn't really in the way of your finger, but even with a 4-inch long handle, I've had less room on a handle and still more comfortable. This kind of forces your hand down into this position, which then your pinky is kind of sliding off the end there. So yeah, very, very poorly executed. And this runs on bearings, by the way. This is a bearing pivot. It's not like nylon washers or something. It's just that unsmooth and that unfun to use. So yeah, and this thing cost me like 130 bucks, I think. Right around there. From Knife Center. So they priced it like it was one of their better knives, and yet they executed it like it's a dollar store fucking, you know, one of those knives in a jug type thing. That's how poorly this knife is executed. So yeah, just and this comes out of their Solingen factory. What a fucking slap in the face this thing was. Just absolute and complete and utter garbage. So hopefully you're never unfortunate enough to come into possession of one of these. If you are, I would suggest just do this. Just throw it away, because it's garbage. Alright guys, that's it for this review. I hope you enjoyed seeing Boker's Facebook edition Turbine 2. Hopefully I'll never see it again. Stay tuned, I got plenty more reviews where that came from. Take it easy.